spell your first and last name for me. That's the first thing I need you to do. And you can look at me the whole time. You don't have to look at the camera. Go ahead. Your first and last name.
Benjamin Stabile.
Okay. And what was your rank before you left the military?
When I left the military, corporal.
Okay.
T5, technician.
So should I, when we, you know that little thing at the bottom of the screen that pops up and says your title? How should we type, what would your title be on like the bottom? It describes like, you know.
What would be my title for what?
Your rank, Grandpa.
For the story. So when somebody pops up on screen, it says Angie Gonzalez, reporter on the bottom. For you, what would it say on the bottom?
Well, Benjamin Stabile, Corporal T5.
Okay. And Andrea told me a little bit about your service, but one of the things that she mentioned was that you have three brothers? That you have three brothers.
My three brothers.
And you and they all went overseas?
All overseas. One in Italy and three in the ETO.
And how was that on your mother?
My oldest brother was in the tank destroyers. Patton's Army. Third
Go ahead.
Third Army. My other brother was in the medical corps. My youngest brother was in the signal corps. And me, I was in the infantry, 3rd Infantry Division.
What were the ages?
Ages? Well, my youngest brother was 18.
Because you would have had to have been close in
Me,
age.
I was 19 now.
Okay.
My oldest brother, 21.
Wow. Okay.
And the one in between, Pete, he was 20. We were 2 years apart, the four of us.
Okay. And how was having, with all four of you serving at the same time? You served at the same time, all of you?
Three of us were. The one in Italy come in later.
Okay. And
He was the last one to be drafted.
And how was that on your mother? Your mother, how did she feel about all of you
my
going?
mother?
Yeah.
She was heartbroken, but she was proud of us. And my father was too.
And when you all came home?
Yeah, we all come home safe and sound.
And how did she feel about that? Because not a lot of
she was
people.
ecstatic. She was very happy about that.
And when you went, you were drafted?
I was drafted.
Okay. And when you were drafted, what was your feeling?
Well, she was heartbroken.
No, you.
Me?
Yes. How did you feel?
I don't know.
Scared? Excited?
I didn't understand what was happening. I was only 18. I was a kid. I just graduated high school.
Here?
Well, in Brooklyn.
Okay. What school?
I graduated high school. Brooklyn High School of Automotive Trades.
Okay.
In 1943, March. I come home. My dad says to me, Penny, you got a letter here. I read the letter. It was a conscription for the service, selective service, that I was drafted. That was in March 43. I had to report to my selective service. So I went down there and they said, yeah, you're drafted. You're going to leave for, see, I'm 95 years old.
It's okay. We got all the time in the world.
And my memory's not...
You're doing a lot better than most people.
No, well, I had to go to, what do they call that? Everybody went to the separation center. Mm-hmm. And I got a physical there. And it says, okay, you're going to report to Fort Dix. You're going to be for basic training. Well, to make a long story short, I went to Fort Dix. They put me on a train the next day. I was in South Carolina, Fort Jackson, South Carolina, the 106th Infantry Division, the Lions Roar. Yeah.
and how you obviously met the other people who were in your group. Did you like them? Did you
I didn't
get
know
along?
them.
But eventually.
Well, we got friendly there during basic, yeah. But I had one very close friend, Sebastian Palmadessa. He was come from Manhattan, and we got to be very close. We were close till we got to England. We took my basic training all over the South, Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, Louisiana, and after my basic training, they sent me to for another interview. We had for the invasion. I was ready for the invasion of Italy. They were getting ready to make Salerno, and one officer there said, "No, you can't. You're physical." See, I was run over. I have a bad leg here.
Since you were younger?
When I was about 7 years old,
Oh,
8
wow.
years old,
Okay.
I was run over by a car.
Wow.
And it broke my leg here in 8 places. They want to amputate my leg, so my father said, no way. Took me out of the hospital, and we got a private doctor to take care of me. He more or less cured me.
Yeah.
But this doctor picked it up. He says, you got a bad leg here. He says, you can't go into no. Says, I'm sending you back to your division. So I missed that invasion of Salerno and there was Salerno and Anzio.
Oh, so then you were separated from your friend. That's when you were
Yes,
separated.
temporarily. But they sent me back to the outfit and we made up again. We were in Camp Atterbury, Indiana.
So how'd you get through if you had the problem with the leg? The second time, how did they let you through if you had the problem with the leg?
I don't know. It was a mixed up deal. They accepted me into the army. I shouldn't have been drafted, but they drafted me, and we made the best of it.
Was it hard dealing with that injury?
And I
when
was
you
in
were
the
there?
infantry.
Yeah.
You walk every place.
So was that hard on your?
Oh yes, it was. We used to start to take 25-mile hike, but I used to fall out. My leg couldn't take it.
Right.
So they knew that. They let me on the side, pick me up with a jeep, and bring me back. That was
They still said you're going.
Still kept going. I went through maneuvers, everything. So that was.
What was your first mission?
What was my first one? Mission? Where? In England?
Or overseas? Was it? I know you were at D-Day. Yes.
Well, I landed. I landed in May. In England.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Where the Beatles come from?
London. Liverpool.
That's the city.
Liverpool. Liverpool. She said.
That's,
Liverpool.
yeah. Then they put me into another company. I was in a replacement pool. So they trained me. We took what they call Moors training, infantry training in England. After I got through with all that training, they sent us to England, to a marshalling area. What the heck is the name? I shipped out. But they put us in the line by alphabetical order, A to Z. So this officer made a big announcement up there, and he says, A to R, 82nd Airborne. So all the men that were from A to R were put into the 82nd Airborne. And from S to Z, 29th Infantry Division. That's how I got into the 29th Division. Then they said, we're going to load you up at Marshall area, Southampton. Was that Southampton? Well, it'll come to me where we were. So we got into we walked it. The boat. We were at the docks or whatever the pier. We were loaded onto these ships. There were Victory ships and Liberty ships. So when we got on there, we were issued $6 in French money. So we already knew where we were going.
Okay.
They gave us French money, so we already knew. Well, that $6 didn't last me long. I got into a poker game and boom, I lost it all. So I went back. I went into my cabin downstairs, and we were starting to sail off. This is in June now. No, the ending of May. But the weather was so bad. The English Channel was very rough. So a lot of us were getting seasick. So they gave us Dramamine and all kinds of pills to take. So all of a sudden there's an announcement on a ship from Eisenhower. So the initial landing was postponed one day. We were supposed to drop out the 5th of June. So he said, no, we'll make our landing the 6th of June. We're going to land in France 6th. Okay. I didn't know I was going into the invasion. They didn't tell us we're making an invasion. June 6th, the weather was a little better. They lined us all up on the dock, on the ship. These are little, and they had rope ladders on the side. Mm-hmm. We had to get over this into LCIs, Landing Craft Infantry. They were little ships, little boats. Mm-hmm. We had to get into them. We took training for that. Mm-hmm. Then we finished with that. We waited. They were going to give us breakfast. What they gave us for breakfast was one orange. So we were eating the orange. That was our breakfast. Then they says, all right, get ready to load. We were loading, it was 4 in the morning, or maybe 3:30. I don't remember exactly. Mm-hmm. And we went over the side, and we're crossing the channels in the LCI. As we're crossing the channel, this is June 6th. Mm-hmm. We're crossing the channel. We hit the beach of Normandy. But we hit a lot of fire and artillery and everything. But I made it on the beach. Okay,
so you didn't even know you were going into
No.
Okay.
We didn't know it was going to be an invasion. No.
Okay, so you didn't know there was going to be an invasion, and all of a sudden people are shooting at you?
Yeah, everything, yeah. That's it. We were well armed. I didn't get to that. To tell you. They gave us full ammunition, hand grenades, Band-Aids. We were fully loaded.
And that wasn't a clue.
No, this was with real McCoy.
Yeah. So what were you thinking when all of a sudden bullets are whizzing by?
Tell the truth, I don't know what the hell to think, because I can't even swim. But I kept my life preserved, and that's what saved my life. Because when I felt the sand under my feet, I walked on the beach. I got on the beach and I landed down. So all explosion all over the place, everything. This is Normandy, Omaha. Mm-hmm. I landed on Omaha.
So I've actually been to Normandy. I was there for the...
You've been to Normandy?
I've been to Normandy because I was there for the anniversary, the 60th anniversary.
Oh, that was 15 years ago.
George Bush. I used to work for George Bush, and he went there for the 60th anniversary, and they let me go on the trip with him.
Did you get to the beach?
Yes. So
you saw the cemetery?
Yeah, we saw the cemetery, but we also saw the little like alcoves that the Germans had up on the the little bunkers that they had.
The bunkers.
Yeah. So I saw all that.
Well, we were knocked out that one with the machine gun in it. And the reason we knocked that down, was because when I landed on the beach, I didn't get hurt, but I landed on the beach. I heard somebody speaking English before me, so I crawled over there, and there was a hole in there, and I hollered to the guy, "Hold it, I'm an American, don't shoot." I didn't know who was in there, so I jumped into the same foxhole that he was in, and it was a boy from the Missouri. He already landed on, it must have been a SEAL, I think, an American SEAL. Mm-hmm. But he was stationed on the Missouri, mm-hmm. the Big Mo. And he was calling fire for the Big Mo. So he asked me, he says, "Do you know coordinates?" I says, "Yes, I do." Because I was well trained. Mm-hmm. I took good training. I was well trained.
So you had used a gun and all that?
Yeah, so he handed me his glasses, and we were calling fire to knock out that pillbox.
Wow.
I would give him the coordinates that I saw through the glasses to him, and he would call in the fire to the Big Mo.
So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit further. How, after this was all over,
when this was all over?
When it was all over, what were you thinking? Oh my gosh, I almost just died?
I said, "Gee, what the hell's going on here? You know, what do we do?" So...
But did you realize that you had done, good work for the U.S. by doing what you did, by calling out?
Oh, but I realized what was going on. Now I knew we were into France, and we were going to get the Germans the hell out of there.
So how were you supposed to use your $6 if they were shooting at you?
Oh, the $6 I lost on the poker.
I know, but the other guys had $6.
I don't know. I don't know what they did with their money, but I lost my $6 the same day. Same day I sat in the poker game. I didn't even know what I was playing. What kind of poker they were? I didn't know my poker. They weren't playing. Mm-hmm. That's why I lost my money and I got out of there.
Okay. All right. So you're down in this foxhole with the guy from Missouri. Yeah. And then what happens? What happens next?
I don't know his name.
No. What happens next?
What happens next?
Mm-hmm.
He told me, "Get down in this hole, cover your ears, because the mole is going to come full power." And he said they're going to have 16-inch Manel steel shells. Knock that box out. So I did what he told me. I crawled into the hole and put my ears, and sure enough, you heard flipping in the air and the explosion. It blew up that whole mountain. Once the machine guns were dead, I got out of that hole. I knew now it was safe, and it was getting daylight now. It was so I felt I felt better. I said, "Geez, at least it's daylight. I can see where I'm going." Mm-hmm. So then I got my rifle back, and I got it all loaded, and I'm ready to take whatever happens. Well, then that's what happened.
So you had no idea that you were going into this, no clue that you were going into this, and now you're like getting ready to
now I know. Well, I know what I was trained for.
So the training was instinctual because you had.
That's right.
Okay.
It was I was trained for this, so I knew what I was getting into.
And then, how did you get off the beach? How did you?
I never got off the beach.
Oh, you just stayed there.
Yeah, I never got off the beach. I was always on the beach. We went on the beach, and then we got organized. Well, there was only 12 of us left.
How many were there before? 12 out of...
I would say, no, I offered 1,800, 1,500.
I'm sorry, so there were 12 out of 1,800?
Yeah.
Did you see
out of our
regiment,
they were alive. It was a disaster that day. Then we got organized. We were told not to take prisoners. Where were we going to put them?
Yeah. But a lot of people died, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
The bodies were there or in the
water? They
water?
were blown up. Their head, it was a disaster.
were any of them your friends, or you didn't really know
Well, I
them?
didn't know half of them. We were all, and I was worried about my friend with the 82nd Airborne because I know they were in the gliders. And I saw what happened to those gliders when they're going over. A lot of them never even made it. The pilots dropped them short, which was bad.
Yeah. So what happened with all the bodies? They just left them there?
Well, then there were more people coming in, more ships coming in now.
And then they took them.
Once the machine gun stopped, we got they were landing more, and we got aid. We were getting organized, and the general, I don't know who he was, but they used to call him Iron Mike. He landed with us, not with me, but with another outfit on our beach, Omaha Beach. And we organized ourselves. After we got organized, we were starting to take prisoners. They were giving up. The Germans were coming down. And half of them was Italian prisoners. There were Polish prisoners, Romanian prisoners, no German, very few. See, the Germans didn't give up as much. These guys were in German uniform, and they gave up. Then there start coming over was the MPs, and everybody started getting organized. They started to take the prisoners away.
So if you always stayed on the beach, right? You always were on the beach. You didn't go further back.
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So tell me about that.
Well, my objective was St. Lo. They already told us. He said, once you make the invasion, we make the invasion, we start going off the beach, your objective is St. Lo. So we got to St. Lo, we took it over. The Germans knew that something was wrong, so they gave up more or less St. Lo. So we took St. Lo. So after we took possession of St. Lo, they told us, all right, you guys are finished, go down to the rest area, you go to our rest. So we took us off the beach. And we went back at R&R, they call it, rest and relaxation. So they gave us new uniforms, they were all messed up, all filthy and everything.
This is their priority, to give you
so they
new
gave
uniforms.
us new uniforms, they fed us. If we were hurt, they gave us Band-Aid.
So before, you only had an orange. And now they're feeding you. You survived, so now they feed you.
Yeah. So I survived the beach. I was one of them. So we got to, we were in the rest area there. We get a call, we got to get ready to leave back. They take back St. Lo. Because the troops that took over St. Lo for us ran into trouble. So we said, we just got trouble that we have to go back. So we did. And it was a mess. What happened there was the 30th Infantry Division come in and took over St. Lo. Because we've seen them. What they did was they called for air power. But they put the wrong flags down. See, you lay down flags. So the airmen could see the flags, which is the front line and which is the enemy line. So they put the flags backwards. So the planes that come down to see them bombed the 30th Division.
What?
Yeah.
They bombed their own people? Friendly fire.
You never see this in your history book.
No. You're right.
They wiped them out.
Wow.
Sure. Then we had to go back up, take care of the wounded, and plus take back St. Lo.
So this was in what time period? A week? 3 days?
Tell you the truth, I never we just kept going every day, night. I didn't know it was 1 day, 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Did you sleep?
Standing up. You sleep standing up because you're afraid to lay down and sleep.
Right.
Because you never know what'll happen. You sleep in your foxhole.
Yeah. So, obviously, when I went to school, when you're daughter went to school, when your grandson went to school, they learn about D-Day, and you were there. What is it like to be part of something that everybody learns about in history?